Hello, this is Laxman. We're in the A-10C Warthog in DCS World. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the idea of fence-in, what that means and how do we do it. As we get more experience, we can do this while we're en route to the target. But as a new pilot, what we're probably going to do is put the plane into autopilot so we can keep our head down in the cockpit. So we're going to put ourselves into a little bit of an orbit here and engage the autopilot. And then we'll start to take a look at what we need to do to get ready for combat. That is what fence-in is getting the airplane ready for combat. All of our weapon systems and the airplane in general ready to go so we can blow some things up. The first thing we're going to want to take a look at are our external lights. With our external lights on, we are very visible to the enemy, particularly ground targets. So we see we have all of our lights on. We look a bit like a Christmas tree right now. So we're going to want to go ahead and take care of those. Over on the throttle console, on the outside of the left throttle is the pinky switch. That controls our external lights. We can also control those on the right console over here with our external lights panel. And so we see those in the different three switches and we see what they control. And so we're going to want to go ahead and turn those off. If we move the left pinky switch from the aft position to the center position, we see that switches the lights off, and we'll take a look outside and no longer lit up. It'll be much harder for ground targets to get a good shot on us. So now that we've taken care of that, we're going to go ahead and look at our weapons and get those up and ready to go. And so we do this on the front console right here in this area here. We see we have four switches. We have our master arm switch. We'll go ahead and turn that on. We have our gun master mode. We'll turn that on. If we're going to be using our targeting pod, we have our laser designator. We'll want to turn that on. And the TGP itself, we need to turn that on. That takes a few minutes in order for the TGP to come online. So we're going to want to give that time before we get into combat. And so we'll select that on the right MFCD here, and we see it's not timed out. It's coming online. So now we'll move over to the left MFCD and take a look at some weapons profiles that we have here. We can set up different profiles in this situation if we want to. We see that we're fully loaded up today, quite a bit of ordnance. Some people like to call that hog flexing, and but it's can't have too many ordnance in my opinion. So if we look at our profiles page here, we can go down and can make any changes that we want to at this point before we get into combat. One of the most important things is if we're planning on using our Mavericks, we want to take a look at the missiles page here and specifically turn the missiles on. They need to come online. Some people say warm up. What they actually are doing is cooling down so that the seeker heads are ready to go and track a target. And that takes several minutes. So we're going to want to do this long before we ever want to use those missiles. Now, we see that the TGP is still coming online, and we can start to get our weapons package ready that we want to use to engage the targets that are ahead of us. We do this by using the button on the right hand side of the joystick, and we see by pressing that we go through our different weapon release modes. We have our gun mode, our CCIP, constantly computed impact, CCRP, constantly computed release point. For this one, we're going to set it up for a guns run. So we have our gun selected, and we see that on the HUD. Our gun reticule is up, and so the guns are ready to go. At this point, our TGP has come online, so we will select the air to ground mode. We will slew our sensors to waypoint 1, where we know our targets are. Zoom in, find, and designate our target. We are now ready to engage those targets. We have 4 trucks out in front of us. And we're ready to make a guns run to engage those trucks. There's our indicator in our HUD, and we can go ahead and engage those. So to review, once again, The things that we're going to want to do, we're going to want to take care of our external lights. Make sure that we turn those off. We want to turn our weapons on and have them ready to go to engage targets when we get to the target area. Our master mode, laser mode, guns. We want to look at our weapons profiles, and specifically we need to make sure long before we ever plan to use them is that we go to our missiles page and turn them on. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.